They're almost set. In the gate. And they're off. It's a quick start for Jolie Candy on the extreme outside. Sexy Blue. Tapatía asked for speed, responds down at the rail. Then Charm Dream in fourth, 3.5 lengths off the pace. Bottom Dollar heads the next flight. Brandon's Girl just went in front of her, and down inside comes Booster Club. It's another 2 back to My Ileana. They move into the far turn, and Jolie Candy being ridden along, but has the advantage by 2 lengths. Tapatía at the rail in second. Then Sexy Blue with 3 to make up. Charm Dream is asked to stay close, 4.5 off the pace. Then a gap to Bottom Dollar. Outside Brandon's Girl, 3 clear of Booster Club and My Ileana. Jolie Candy with 1/4 mile to go maintains the lead 1.5 lengths. Tapatía is asked to get after her in second. Charm Dream on the far outside is next. Down at the rail, the gray Brandon's Girl is making a very nice bid and having to steady in traffic is Bottom Dollar. Here comes Brandon's Girl. Brandon's Girl comes right through inside Tapatía. What a move from Booster Club in the center of the track. Booster Club comes best of all under Kazushi Kimura to run down Brandon's Girl. Then My Ileana from dead last came flying to nail Tapatía. Behind them, an unlucky Bottom Dollar. Flaus to the outside, right up to the gate. And in. They're off in the San Carlos Stakes, and Vlahos very quick away from the gate. Spirit of McKenna and For All Mankind are flashing speed. At the rail, Pilot Commander is next and inching forward, and at the back of the field is Fort Bragg. Vlahos is the quickest of the main track, leads at 1.5 lengths. Pilot Commander moves up willingly to claim second, and Spirit of McKenna with the pink in third. For All Mankind is fourth, 4 lengths off the lead, and passed just now by Fort Bragg. They're 1/2 mile left to go. Maldonado trying to slow things down on Vlahos, who's cruising into the far turn. Spirit of McKenna on the outside. Pilot Commander is not in the best of spots. He's down on the inside of For All Mankind. Those two head and head. And behind them comes Fort Bragg. 5/16 to go in the San Carlos, and Spirit of McKenna on even terms with Vlahos. Those two stride for stride. For All Mankind revving up on the outside. Pilot Commander's looking for room. He just brushed with Vlahos while getting through along the inside. And here comes Pilot Commander with 1/8 mile to go. And he takes the lead in the San Carlos. For All Mankind, Spirit of McKenna running a giant race. It's Pilot Commander by 2 lengths. Spirit of McKenna, For All Mankind. Pilot Commander, Spirit of McKenna, and For All Mankind. Pilot Commander wins the San Carlos. For All Mankind, a great second. Spirit of McKenna finished third. And $700,000 in his career in just 13 starts. James Kasparov presents to the connections of Pilot Sir Tom. Going in. And they're off. A little bit of crowding in the middle, but nothing too serious. Kanani comes out well, just to graze. Here comes Sir Tom. And Sir Tom sprints up to take the lead away from Kanani, and just to graze alongside him. Then Going Nowhere. Glass of Jameson is 5th in the early stages. Fincairn is next, racing on the inside of a wide Maxville. 3 lengths back to the 2 trailers, Anon, and Fight Back at the back of the field. Sir Tom makes it over to the rail, leads it by 2.5 lengths to Just a Graze, with Kanani on the fence in third, now about 3.5 or so off this front runner. That group is followed by Going Nowhere, Glass of Jameson, Maxville outside of them. Fincairn is next. Fight Back gets out of last place with a 1/2 mile to go, leaving Anon. The favorite is last. Heading to the 3/8 marker, and it is Sir Tom in front, a length and a half. Just a Gray second, Kanani third, Maxville on the outside. Then comes Going Nowhere at the rail. Glass of Jameson is next. Fincairn losing ground. Fight Back is last. Anon still trails 10 lengths off the lead. He's starting to get going. He's got some momentum. Just has to find somewhere to go, and will need to make up a ton of ground too. As Fight Back got the jump on him, 7 wide at the top of the stretch. It's wide open. Down on the inside, Kanani has a seam, and he's coming. Anon is in behind horses as Going Nowhere on the outside is battling for the lead, and from way out of it, Fight Back and Hector Barrios. It's Kanani on the inside who's had the best trip, has the lead close to home, and Kanani and Kyle Frey get the money. Second goes to Going Nowhere, and oncoming Anon was third, Fight Back fourth. In the gate, and they're off. Right-hand rider is going to the front. Mischief's Thirsty has some early speed in the opening stages, but it is right-hand rider to the front. Union Wave comes through on the inside to engage in second, and then it's Super Muzzle in the blue now third. Chief Jackson in between horses fourth. They're followed by Oh Great fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. Brother O'Brien, who hesitated shortly after the start, settles with 7 lengths to make up. He is followed by Lord Wimborne, who is on the inside of Wild Wager, and Mischief's Thirsty is at the back of the field. They come to the 5/8 pole behind Right-Hand Rider, who leads it by a length to Super Muzzle in second. It's another 2 lengths to Chief Jackson racing on the outside of Union Wave. Then Oh Great fifth, 6 lengths off the lead. Brother O'Brien is being worked upon at the rail, 2 lengths clear of Lord Wimborne, who's followed by Wild Wager and Mischief's Thirsty. 3 furlongs out. Right-hand rider to catch. Doing it well so far. Has it by a length. Super Muzzle kept to his task, trying to close the gap in second. These two have pulled 4 clear of Chief Jackson in third. Then comes Brother O'Brien outside, a weakening Union Wave. Wild Wager 4 deep at the top of the stretch. Right-hand rider and Super Muzzle are head and head coming to the 8th pole. Super Muzzle on the outside and Right-hand rider. Super Muzzle, right-hand rider, tough and holding his ground in second, but it is Super Muzzle with a 16th of a mile to go, in front by a length for Jeff Bondi and his longtime assistant, Miguel Carranza. Super Muzzle wins. Right-hand rider second. Chief Jackson third. Mischief's Thirsty rallied for fourth. Second line, and they're off. Ivory Moon on the far outside has speed. Unwritten Code is up in the mix early, and in between those two, Champagne Cami. They're joined at the rail by Corporal Violet. Then comes Lady Gregory. Lamborghini broke well, but settles 8 lengths off the lead. Tiergarten just inside of her, and Over Attracted at the back of the field. It's Unwritten Code to the half-mile pole, leading over Champagne Cami in second. At the rail, Corporal Violet third. Then comes Ivory Moon and the Barber Pink fourth and 4 lengths off them. Lady Gregory is down on the inside. That group is followed by Over Attracted, steadying between rivals Tiergarten and Lamborghini in front of them. Midway on the far turn, Unwritten Code, the leader throughout, pressed by Champagne Cami. 2 more still to Corporal Violet in third. Lady Gregory starting to inch up now. And here's Lady Gregory looming large at the top of the stretch. Ivory Moon has lost significant ground as Lady Gregory sweeps on by to take command. Over Attracted takes up the chase into second. These are the only 2. It's Lady Gregory, Over Attracted, Lady Gregory clear, and Lady Gregory a convincing win. Over Attracted second, Corporal Violet third, Champagne Cami fourth. In the gate. And they're off. Sir Maximus broke out alertly, but there are several, including Tiger Strength, who is hard-ridden as 5 or 6 fan across the track into the first turn. It will be Tiger Strength, who is the quickest of the quick. Big Bet along the inside, a joint second, and Sir Maximus is up and on the pace, too. Bowtie Boys is in fourth, now third, just a length and a half off the leader. And Tiago Pereira having to steady sharply there on Pete's Old Fashioned, who is very eager in these early going. Then comes Sweet Stefan next and 4 lengths off the lead. At the rail, Cupid's Crusader. Battle Cruiser is next, and after a hesitated beginning, Supermax is the distant trailer. They're coming to the half-mile pole, and it's Tiger Strength in front just under a length. Sir Maximus is racing second. Bowtie Boys is right on them, heading to the 3/8 pole, gets a little bit of a nudge and responds. 3 of them across the track. Battle Cruiser and Raylu Gutierrez have to go 4 wide, but are in it. At the rail, Big Bet is in fifth. A length and a half, Pete's Old Fashioned, hard-ridden, not responding. Cupid's Crusader went by him. Then Swift Stefan, and another 2. Supermax starts to pick it up. He is rolling from behind. A quarter of a mile to go. And Tiger Strength confronted by Bowtie Boys. Bowtie Boys cruises past him at the top of the stretch. Cupid's Crusader is a threat, angling out. And Supermax continues to pound home down the middle of the racetrack. Has to get to Bowtie Boys. But here's Supermax. And Supermax blows by them all from last to first. Bowtie Boys, Battle Cruiser, and Cupid's Crusader. Kettle One is the official vodka partner of Santa Anita Park. Try the all-new Santa Anita Mule, made with in the gate. And they're off in the Wilshire. And Alphabella broke well, but it's Tirupati sprinting up on the inside to take the lead. Tahini is now in second. Alphabella. Desert Rhapsody moves up to claim third. Uncorked is fifth in the early going. A Sophisticate moves through at the rail, and Big Hug at the back of the field. It will be the favorite Tirupati to set the pace, leading the way by a length and a half around the clubhouse turn with Tahini in second. At the rail, Alphabella close up third. That group is followed by Desert Rhapsody and Sophisticate. Antonio Fresu has Uncorked 6 lengths off the lead and 2 in front of Big Hug. Down the back stretch, and it's Tirupati in front, leading the way untroubled by a length and a half. Tahini second and Alphabella on the inside, still third, followed by Desert Rhapsody, 3.5 off them with a half mile to travel. Then comes Sophisticate, Uncorked, joined at the rail by Big Hug. Tirupati, left alone on the front end, has controlled the pace throughout, leads them a length and a half to Tahini. At the rail, Alphabella hugs the fence in third. Desert Rhapsody under pressure, not responding. Between rivals, Uncorked is starting to pick up some momentum. Inside of her, it's Sophisticate and Big Hug there at the top of the stretch, and Tirupati spurts clear, opens up 3. Alphabella on the inside takes second. Center of the course, Sophisticate and Uncorked. They have a final 16th to go, and it's Tirupati by 3. Alphabella trying her best, but no match for Tirupati, who takes them coast to coast. Alphabella was second. Big Hug from last to third, then Sophisticate. And they're off. Very even start. Devil Among Us, Kangaroo Court get the first two calls out of the gate. Tessuto comes away in third. He's followed by Boniek on the extreme outside. Touchdown Brown between rivals. And Momad is down at the rail. It's a gap of 5 to the two trailers, Positivity. And Shortman is at the back of the field. Devil Among Us goes to the half-mile pole in front, a length and a half. Kangaroo Court is in second. Then comes Tessuto inching forward willingly. And Boniek 4 deep around the far turn. Momad is in 5th. Touchdown Brown is 4 behind them. Positivity hard ridden toward the back of the field. And Shortman is the trailer. They have 3 furlongs to run, and Boniek is making a nice move on the extreme outside. And Boniek comes looking for the lead. Inside of him, Tessuto is trying to cling to that rival. At the rail, Devil Among Us is not done. He's fighting on willingly. Touchdown Brown swings out, and Positivity will go even wider, but he's finding his best stride inside the final 1/8 of a mile. Here comes Positivity and Kent DeSormo. He bided his time, and he's going to run by them all. Positivity streaking home, and now gets the patented DeSormo breaks. Wins by 3.5 or 4. Second to Momad. It's a photo for third between Boniek and Touchdown Brown. Motet to the outside. And they're off. Halston Rose had a very sweet start and goes right to the front, but immediately is tackled by and passed by Sunglow. So Sunglow is going straight to the front now with Eastwick right up alongside. Those two are head and head as they get onto the main course. Just outside of them, Insolenta is also prominent. A gap of 4 now to Halston Rose, who settles in 4th. At the rail, it's Auntie, followed by Velocity, 2 lengths clear of Tahiti Edie. Motet is next. The 2 trailers, Inner Fury and Into the Hall. Sunglow goes into the far turn in command. Leading it by 2 lengths over Insolenta. At the rail comes Eastwick in 3rd. It's been a good trip for Halston Rose 4th. Has 4 to make up on the front running Sunglow. And Sunglow's trying to spurt away from them now. In this next flight comes Velocity on the outside of Auntie. They're at the top of the stretch. Sunglow still in front by 2.5. Halston Rose is closing the gap. Velocity is trying to get involved as Halston Rose has overhauled Sunglow at the 8th pole. Hand-ridden by Rispoli, has to hold off a late kick from Velocity, and Velocity's coming. It's Halston Rose or Velocity. Photo finish. That's so tight. It's either Halston Rose or Velocity, a matter of where the nose is bobbed. Sunglow held on to 3rd, and then behind that, it was between Eastwick and Auntie. A dramatic conclusion to the finale.
Hi, everybody, and a happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Delighted you decided to join us. And our seminar guest today, he's had quite the life. He is the son of a horse trainer. He fell in love with horse racing early on. Then, believe it or not, he went to Stanford and got an economics degree. What the heck is he doing at the racetrack? And now, of course, he accomplished his 1500th career victory just a week or so ago at Oak Lawn Park. My name's Tom Quigley. Of course, our seminar guest, the esteemed trainer, Bob Hess Jr. Bobby, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Great to be here.
It's great to have you here. Let's talk about your youth for a minute. Obviously, your dad was a great trainer. Bob Hess Sr. plied his trade up in Northern California. You were born up in Northern California. What was it about going to the racetrack with him early in your youth that really kind of turned you on to horse racing?
You know, I'd say Dad still is my best friend, even though we lost him about 5 years ago. And I just loved hanging out with him, loved going to the races with him. And whenever I wasn't playing baseball or doing my homework, I was with Dad and getting up every day, you know, on the weekends at 5 a.m, going to work. And I couldn't do much when I was a little kid, but I learned quite a bit. And he was tough, real tough.
He's like a coach, though, right? He kind of mentored you and probably taught you a lot about life while you were at the racetrack that you didn't realize until later in life.
I'm blessed to have two wonderful parents. My mom's still with us at 82, and
she's doing great, right?
She's in good health, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned you went to Stanford and got an economics degree, but you played baseball there, at least for a hot minute. What was going to Stanford like? I mean, that's a very elite school. You had to be very smart to get in there. What was it like attending Stanford University?
You know, neither of my parents went to college, but somehow there's 4 kids. I'm the oldest. I have a brother and 2 sisters. And my brother and I went to Stanford. My sister went to Berkeley, and the little one went to UK. So
your parents had to be extremely proud.
Yeah, and somehow they taught us the value in education, and you know, the racetrack was always going to be here. Mm-hmm. So the goal was to get a good education, play sports. I really learned more. I want to say from my peers while at Stanford. It was a time to grow up. You know, who's going to give an 18-year-old or even a 22-year-old horses a train? So it was a time to grow up, to learn more about myself, to try to play a little baseball. I wasn't good enough, but had a good experience. Still friends with Coach Stotts, who's now retired, and I'm a big Dodger fan. He actually recruited Tommy Edman, who's with the Dodgers and doing great.
Louis. Sure.
And speaks really highly of Tommy. And Coach Stotts is actually a huge horse racing fan, so we always hook him up for the Breeders' Cup and the Derbies and whatnot.
Speaking of value in a high education, Bobby, your 2 sons have done extremely well in school. What are their names? How old are they, and what are they doing in life?
I'm 59, so they're getting up there. I'll be 60 this year. Garrison is 33, senior software engineer with Google, and Christian is finishing up with a dual. I don't know how you do this. A dual master's, one from Harvard, an MBA, and one from Dartmouth MBA and Harvard MPA. What's an MP?
I don't even know.
Master's in Public Administration.
All I know is they're going to make more money than you and I do.
By far, at least in my case.
Did you go visit your son at Harvard? What was that campus like compared to Stanford, as an example?
Stanford's the best. I'm sorry, but
Palo Alto?
The best in the world. He'll even tell you that. I think he's had a better experience at Dartmouth with the people and the whole environment. Boston, he learned a lot and enjoyed it, but Dartmouth would be his favorite.
I mentioned you had your 1500th career victory just a week or so ago at Oak Lawn Park. Did you ever expect when you started training that you'd still be doing this this late in life, so to speak?
Oh, heck, I want to do it till I'm gone. So I hope to.
You started out with humble beginnings, right? $700 in your pocket and a van ride with a horse down to Southern California.
Dad sent me the day after graduation, and I got $700 in cash and gifts from graduation.
You were the only Stanford grad driving a horse trailer.
Well, Eddie Gregson graduated from Stanford.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't think he was doing much horse trailer driving.
What about one of your favorite horses, Slurp? You claim Slurp, and obviously he gave you everything he had every time he ran. When I mention the name Slurp, what comes to mind?
Huge heart. He only lost 1 photo finish in his career. He actually saved Kent Desormo's life once when a horse broke down right in front of him, and down the backside, it called her, and Kent threw the reins and let the horse do the work, and he jumped over and saved everyone.
Wow. I'm glad you brought up Kent Desormo. You guys have had a special relationship for a long, long time. Kent's obviously had his ups and downs, but right now he's on an upward trajectory. He's riding great with limited opportunities, and his new agent is really getting him on some live mounts. You ride him today. You actually saddle 3, 2 he rides.
Yeah, he's actually worked the 3rd one for me that he's not riding, and he's been helping us a ton in the morning. His experience and knowledge is invaluable. You can't even describe how great of an exercise rider that he is. Obviously, a Hall of Fame jockey. Great person, ups and downs, yes, but honest. And we have a great rapport where there's honesty, there's friendship, there's trust. And I think that's really what life's all about.
Honesty, friendship, and trust. Those are some of the pillars of life, that's for sure. We're going to actually talk horse racing next time we see you. We're going to find out who Bob likes on today's 10-race card. As I mentioned, he has 3 runners today. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf out 20 feet. Here are the changes. In the first race, scratch number 7, Smiling Rapper. Early pick 5 starts with race 1. No changes in race number 2. In the third, we have some equipment changes that are noted in your program. Fourth race offers middle pick 4 wagering, scratch number 4, Monsieur. Note the number 5 in without knock and 1 over. 8, Bro Broom, 3 pounds over. Turning to the 5th race. Pick 6 on races 5 through 10. No scratches or jockey changes. No changes in the 6th, start of the late pick 5, and all turf pick 3. In the 7th, number 3, P22, 3 pounds over. The 8th is the Sensational Star. Scratch number 4, Booksmart, $3 late pick 3 begins. Race 9 starts the late double. Scratch 5, Quality Cat. Scratch 8, Roy Hobbs. Note that number 10, Love Candy, will carry 1 pound over. And in the 10th race, scratch number 2, Tiara Queen. Scratch 4, Big Mama Sue. And scratch number 11, I'm a Joker. 2, 4, 11 are out. Super high 5 wagering offered on the 10th. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. Post time for the first is in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can bet on the Coast to Coast Pick 5. It starts today with Gulfstream's 10th. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today is trainer Bob Hess Jr.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with trainer Bob Hess Jr. He's got 3 runners on today's card. We're going to find out who he likes of those 3 runners, but more importantly, he's handicapped the entire card. So, Bob, let's kick things off in race number 1, which, of course, begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. This is a maiden claiming race for Calbred, 3-year-old fillies. It's a restricted race in for a $12,500 tag. Scratch the 7, Smiling Rapper, leaves us with a field of 7. Number 5, Nepali, is currently the even money choice on the board for O.J. Haragi. Let's see here. 10 chances so far. 8 seconds or thirds, but never hit the winner's circle. Sometimes at this level, they just don't have that will to win, right, Bob?
You know, that 0 for 10 really, it just bothers me. You know, winners are winners in life, losers are losers.
And she's tried at this level before with not much success.
It's not fancy, but I went with a 2 horse in here. Jeff Bunny's a great old horseman. His dad, Duke Bondy, was our farrier up at Golden Gate and Bay Meadows back in the day.
He's the king of Pleasanton.
Yeah, Jeff's great, good horseman, and that's who I like in this race.
You know, Bob, I wanted to ask you a question. With a lot of these Northern California trainers coming down here, you've obviously been here for quite some time. This is new territory for them. A lot of them have been training up at Pleasanton up until this point. Have they come to you with any sort of, questions, seeking advice, like, where do we live? What do we do? What's the main track? Like, do you have some friends from up there that are now hopefully going to permanently relocate down here?
Friends, but kind of so long ago that we're just friendly and just friends more than anything. No one's really asked my advice.
Sure. What about competition? It makes it sound like you guys are all in kind of competition against each other. The backstretch is kind of like a village, right? We're all kind of, we know each other, but at the same time, we all want to win. Is it a competitive environment back there in the morning, or is it a little bit more social than what I think?
I kind of think of the industry as just a huge pie. And we all can just get part of that slice of the pie and compete and succeed and, have the highs and lows and enjoy the game and be competitive, but also supportive of each other.
We're all in this together, that's for sure, right? Yeah. Let's take a look at race number 2, Bob. This is where you have your first runner. We're going 1 mile on the main track, $25,000 of the claiming tag. It also begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We've got a field of 5. Number 2, Sakil, is a 7-5 morning line favorite. However, you have number 4, Joint Venture, first off the claim. There were actually 4 claims in this day. The question for you first, Bob, is why did you dip into the claim box here and take Joint Venture? What did you see, or what were you hoping to accomplish?
I thought of claiming in Delmar, and he won that day, but just didn't really. He looked good, but then I was reading the workout reports, and they were saying he was training a lot better. I saw him in person. He looked really great that day. Doug did a great job with him. And he ran huge. He just got burned up on the pace. No one's fault, really.
Matter of fact, the early fractions were 22-1, 45-3. And even though he got passed by the eventual winner, he was well clear of the third place runner. And on the gallop out, he actually was very competitive, looking like he wanted to really be competitive. You bring him back relatively quickly at a higher level. You must have liked what you purchased.
He's healthy. He's actually training really well. Kept his weight. His attitude's great. His coat's great. It is back quicker than I'd like, but with this division, you got to kind of run as long as they're ready. You got to run where you can, because you might not run for 6 weeks. So we're giving it a shot. I think Sakil is the horse to beat. I think we go 1-2 in there.
Now, according to clocker Andy Harrington, and we did not have this workout at firsttv.com, unfortunately, they said that back on March 24th, Sakil worked in company with Chief Renegade, your first-time starter, later on in today's card, which we'll talk about. Do you recall that work by chance?
What day was it?
This would have been on March 24th.
Well, Chief Renegade's works on the flat have not been that good at all. His gate works have been better. And I don't remember hooking up in with anyone that day, no.
Okay, but you respect Sakil simply because it looks like maybe he's the class of the field.
Oh, I'm sorry. That day, I remember the work. I mean, we got our butt kicked that day. But Sakil's
he's won 6 races lifetime, right? Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. All right, let's take a look at race number 3, Bob. This time we are going 1 mile on the main track once again. Maiden Claimer's in for a $20,000 tag. We've got a field of 7, and here you saddle the morning line favorite, number 1, Silver and Black, 6-5 on the morning line with your buddy Kent DeSormo in the saddle. Last time out, you lost to a Maiden 50 dropper from the Steve Knapp barn, but you were quite competitive. But here's the concern again, 0 for 16 lifetime.
God, this horse, if you look at him, you think he's a Calbred stake horse. He's Calbred. And I'm a sucker for a good-looking horse. That's actually how we claimed him in Gulfstream to bring here.
And he was a Calbred riding down a Gulfstream.
Yeah, so he's just been disappointing. And I'm hoping that he can get the money someday, hopefully today, and then maybe get some confidence and maybe go back up the ladder. But he has been disappointing. Now,
according to the Daily Racing Form, here into Buyer's speed figure of 71, which is his career best. Did he come out of the race okay? And do you believe that was his fastest race from a career standpoint?
No, I think some of those races at 3-year-old on the turf might have been his fastest, but this was a good race. I think Kent learned a lot about him, and I think he should move up a touch today.
Silver and Black, any idea who the original owners were? Were they Raider fans by chance? Sure seems like the name came from.
One of the owners, Larry Buckendorf, is a huge Bronco fan, and he cringes every time this horse runs.
That's funny. No wonder he's in for Maiden 20. Race number 4 begins with 50-cent middle pick 4 on today's 10-race card. And we kick out that wager going 1 mile on the main track. Another restricted race, this time for $5,000 claimers. Scratch the 4, leaves us with a field of 7. Number 7 is Ciro, who we haven't seen since Santa Rosa back in August, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. You talked about, the first race being tough. This is another tough race, right? Because before you give out your selection, Bob, these horses at these levels kind of come in and out of form rather dramatically. quickly, right? They don't hold their form for extended periods of time. That's why they're at this level.
Yeah, it is really, really tough to pick winners in here. I was looking at the 3, just Dazzle the Command, just because maybe, the huge drop in class and maybe it could improve on dirt. I thought Acero should be tough as well.
Fair enough. Let's take a look at race number 5. This is a good race going 1 mile on the main track for Maiden Claiming. 3-year-old fillies in for a $32,000 tag. Also begins the $2 pick 6. Did you see the results of the pick 6 yesterday? I got a quick story for you. The pick 6, there was one winning ticket. It paid $45,000. That's the good news. The better news is it was purchased on track for an excess of $800. So you think, wow, somebody with deep pockets probably hit it. You would be wrong. It was a group of people who didn't know much about horse racing, who were sitting in the box seat section here at Santa Anita, who pooled their money together and played the $2 pick 6. And lo and behold, they were the only winning ticket for $45,000. There's those stories like that really get people not only interested in the gambling side of the game, Bobby, but also hopefully the ownership side of the game, because that's really the ultimate feel-good sensation, right? I mean, I've had many owners tell me there's nothing like going to the winner's circle and being so proud once your horse wins.
Owning a racehorse, yes, it's challenging and frustrating and expensive enough, but it's like watching your kid hit a home run or being a musical or whatever it may be. It's the most emotional dollar you're ever going to spend.
And they're wearing your silks that you've designed, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just really, like you said, a real emotional type of experience. With going back to race number 5 here, we've got a field of 8, the morning line favorite from the Jeff Mullins barn, number 7, Grow. Is that right? No, I'm sorry. I was wrong. The morning line favorite is number 8, Ready to Risk It All from the Michael McCarthy barn at 6-5. Only one lifetime start sprinting. What say you about race 5, Bob?
This is a route race. Vino Rosso was a route horse. Umbrado Song has 2 turns. McCarthy does a great job. He learned from the best of the best.
Sure did. Todd Pletcher
and Gregson as well. And you got Juan Hernandez. You're going to be probably 3-5, but I think that's probably a single.
Fair enough. Before we take a look at race number 6, Bob, a question for you, because you brought it up a few times. You said you're a sucker for a good-looking horse, and of course, you and I spend a lot of time looking at horses in the paddock. I think it gives you a competitive edge as a handicapper. But specifically for you, when you're looking to either claim a horse or maybe just look at new babies, what things are you looking for at a horse for the people watching that maybe, I've had zillions of people tell me a horse looks like a horse. They can't distinguish one horse from another. There couldn't be anything farther from the truth. But what do you look for when you're looking at a horse?
I always tell people to pick your favorite sport. And like in my case, baseball. And then when I would see Ken Griffey or now Otani walk out onto the field, that's what I'm looking for in a racehorse.
Confidence, athletic,
poise, balance, just that sixth sense of almost arrogance, but also calm as well.
Is Otani the best baseball player you ever saw?
Oh, he's pretty amazing.
He's one of a kind. He's a generational talent, that's for sure. Let's take a look at race number 6. This begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins the $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% take on. And we're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course. This race is for maiden special weight 3-year-olds. If I didn't mention it already, the rails today are at 20 feet. We've got a field of 10, the morning line favorite, the first-time starter from the John Sadler barn, number 1, Da Capo. You also have the first-time starter in here down near the bottom, Bob, number 9, Chief Renegade. Before we get your thoughts on the race, courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com, let's watch a workout for Chief Renegade. This would have been a main track drill, a team gate drill, as a matter of fact, back on February 22nd. His workmate this particular day was a runner by the name of Starship Sedona, who has not started yet. But let's get your evaluation. Looks like Chief Renegade broke well and carries on that momentum throughout the course of this entire workout.
I'm kind of pulling my hair with this guy a little bit. I think he probably needs to run farther. I don't know that turf is the key. I'm just trying to get a race in him. We're always trying, but for the bettors out there, and the owners as well, I would say next time, maybe a little bit of a drop, go farther.
And as we continue to watch the workout, Bob, I actually looked up your statistics in DRF Formulator for first-time starters, and it's very obvious to me that you don't really crank the horses up first time out. You've got a very low win percentage. You seem to be like an old-school trainer where you'd rather give them 1 or 2 good experiences before you actually ask them for their 100% effort. Is that a fair assessment as a handicapper?
None of us can afford to hurt horses, but I'd rather kind of race them into shape, keep them really, really healthy, and maybe work them a little slower in the morning, keep him healthy, and then let him develop over time.
But that was a very solid workout. But like you said, probably he wants a little bit more distance.
I think he does.
Yeah. But you do like number 5, 32 Chunk, the the first time starter from the Mark Glatt barn. What was it about 32 Chunk that you liked?
I don't really have any inside info, but I'm a big fan of Mark Glatt. He's younger than me, but he's also super old school. From Washington, learned from his dad, Ron. And I think he does a great job. The horse costs a few bucks. So I think there's some talent there. And I actually like more than Ready on grass.
You said you respect Mark Glatt. Do you actually study other trainers, when you maybe have a slow afternoon and you kind of look at where the trainers are placing their stock and what they're doing in terms of sprint to route, blinkers on, blinkers off? Like, are you kind of a student of the game with respect to other trainers?
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you're claiming or even running against, I definitely avoid certain people and kind of watch other people as well. I think I might be able to do a little better.
Let's take a look at race number 7. Begins the 50-cent late pick 4. This time we're sprinting the abbreviated sprint distance of 5.5 furlongs for $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. We've got a field of 8. Number 2, Pratchett for the Mike Pikeby barn is 8-5 on the Moy line. Give us your thoughts on race 7, Bob.
Pratchett broke his maiden against a horse that I used to train named Eagles there, who's just okay, but I think he'll be tough to beat on the big drop. And then Cody Boy, I kind of liked. My buddy Doug Haynes used to own him, and they really weren't certain why he ran so poorly last time, but I think he might have had a little trouble that day at the quarter pole.
Bob, you talked about Pratchett running both at San Anita and at Del Mar, and you also brought up those 2 circuits as well. Is there a huge difference in the racing surfaces? I know in the past there used to be. Now I think there's been an attempt to try and standardize both racetracks. Do you think there's a significant difference? I'm talking about the main track between San Anita and Del Mar, because we see some horses prefer one track over the other. But what's your assessment of the difference, if any, between those 2 tracks?
They're much more similar. You're right about that than they used to be. When we had all the injuries, this track here at Santa Anita got really, really deep. I mean, ask Baffert, he'll tell you. And now it's firmed up a touch. It's safer. We don't want soft tissue injuries either.
Correct.
So I think they're almost similar. I still think Del Mar has a great surface, probably because it has less wear and tear.
Of course.
They don't run, 24/7 like they do here.
And they don't open up training until about 10 days before opening day, which kind of puts
But they're similar. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Let's take a look at race number 8. This race begins the $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. We're coming down the Hillside Turf Course. It's our stakes race on today's card. It's the Sensational Star for Calbred, $100,000 purse. You scratched your runner out of here, Bob. Number 4, Booksmart, has been declared out of the race. Kings River Knight is the 2-1 morning line favorite. And just take a look at his past performances. He's got a lot of breaks in his running lines, but my God, 16 career starts, 10 wins, 5 seconds. He just missed winning this race in 2023. Wouldn't you love to own the 7-year-old gelding?
I'd love to train him too. Sadler does a tremendous job. He's, one of our veteran guys here. I can't say enough good things about him. That's a horse to beat. I don't love the rail coming out of that down the hill, but it was a tough spot. I scratched because I'm looking at maybe an easier spot on Friday. I kind of like the Fast Buck, Cesar d'Alba. Kind of a lesser known trainer, but he actually won a race or 2 for me as a jockey back in the day.
Sure was over at Los Al.
Yeah, he won at Hollywood Park for us. I remember on a Friday night, I think it was out of the 1 hole with like a 10 claimer. But he's done a great job with this horse, and why can't this horse win?
I agree. He sure could at 4-1 with Umberto Rispoli in the saddle. Let's talk about our jockey colony for a minute. Obviously, we remember the days of Gary Stevens, Corey Nakatani, Lafitte Pinkai, Chris McCarron. But right now, when Frankie Dettori's in town and when Flavian's riding, and you add in the mix Juan Hernandez and Umberto Rispoli, it's more than above average. It certainly has gotten a lot better the last couple of years with the addition of some of the riders I spoke about. I
think our weather is so great here, and the purses are good enough. Safe surfaces. It's just a great place to live, to own, to train racehorses. So I think that's the lure of getting jockeys out here. And you're right, it's gotten better. Got a little weak there for a while, but we have great jockeys here.
You obviously eat, sleep, and breathe horse racing. So the question of the day is, what can we do to improve racing here in Southern California? Obviously, we're at a disadvantage because we don't have any sort of additional, slot revenue to put into purses. That's the biggest problem in the game right now in Southern California. If you could snap your fingers, like what are some of your ideas if you have any, Bob?
Well, I think we've done a great job with safety. I think that attracts
no doubt about it.
A lot of trainers and owners, jockeys, and even it's my clients. No one wants to lose money, but they really put the horse first. And I think a safe surface really attracts a lot of people to race in Southern California.
Let's talk about some of your owners first. Let's give them some recognition. A lot of them have been with you for a long time. I don't want, you'll obviously leave out some names, unfortunately, but just off the top of your head, who are some of the clients you've had for literally decades that have really supported you?
Dave Marabella is great. A guy, he's getting older now. Jim Glavin, wonderful human being. He's doing a little more with Eclipse nowadays. Jeff Lambert's been great to me. Ernie Marchowski, great. They've been with me 15, 20 years. Marabella, 35 years. Dick Hale, geez. Dick and Sue Hale, they're friends. For the most part, my clients are my friends. There's a mutual respect. There's definitely a lot of honesty and trust.
I was just going to say that.
And they pretty much take the good news or the bad news. It's the same. And they always, we got to stop, give them time. We do it, and they're fine.
You've had a lot of longtime owners. What about your actual staff that supports you? The barn foreman, your assistant trainer, some of the exercise riders. Let's give them a little love. Like, who are some of those people behind the scenes?
My guy Lalo, he remember we were at Golden Gate, and there was this 16-year-old groom. I was 13, and the trainer was down on the horses, and my dad claimed Lalo. And he went to work for us, and he's my assistant. He's a little older than me. Wow. And he's been with us for 40 years?
Sure.
So he's the best.
You trust him like your brother.
He does all the dirty work.
But you need somebody like that.
He does all the work. I say dirty work. He's the best. I love him. I'm lucky that I brought my assistant from Florida, who's now at Keeneland with 8 head, Daniel Flores. He does a great job too. And the rest of my crew is amazing.
Are you pointing to some horses to the upcoming Keeneland meet?
We're going to run there a little. Really, I want to go there, try to win a few. The purses are good. And I'm going to try to claim 5 or 6 to bring right back to Southern California.
For the ship and win bonus, of course. Of course. That's been, that's been part of your playbook for many years now.
Yeah, and it is.
And we're very thankful of that because obviously those horses continue to participate in Southern California.
Yeah, I want to support Southern California as much as I can.
Well, thank you very much for doing that. Race number 9 begins the $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. This time we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. It's a restricted starter optional claiming race. 2 scratches, 5 and the 8, both will not compete. Still leaves us with a good field of 10. Number 6, Major Tom is the 5-2 morning line favorite. I'm only chuckling because once again, Bobby, this race is a real head scratcher. At least for me in race 9.
I'm trying to pull it up on my computer. Sorry.
That's okay. Technology.
Who's the running horse?
Running Ute.
That's who I like.
Let's take a look here. Where is Running Ute? That would be near the bottom. It's number 9. First off the claim for trainer Lee Baraccio.
Lee does a good job. He's sneaky good. He does a good job. So that's I'm kind of playing the trainer more than anyone else.
I've been watching Lee closely as well, and let's focus on that for a minute, Bob, because as you mentioned, your top selection is trained by Lee, number 9, Running Ute. I think what Lee's secret is he likes, and it's fairly simple, he likes horses that win races. Yeah. If you go back and look at all Touchdown Brown comes to mind, there's others that he claims. If they hit the winner's circle, and Running Ute has won 5 times from just 13 lifetime starts, Lee's going to be there with a claiming tag because he believes in his heart of heart that he can, basically improve a horse, even if it's just by a few lengths. And Running Ute's 71 Beyer speed figure last time, earned right here at St. Anita, is the highest in the field. Yep. Why can't he take a jump up in class? I mean, sometimes we overthink it to claim, and yet if horses win, like you said earlier, winners win and losers lose. So Running Ute is your top selection. Easy to remember. Number 9 in race number 9. We'll close out today's card in race number 10, but keep in mind live racing resumes next Friday. Next week is San Anita Derby Day. Did you see the prep races at Florida and Oaklawn Park? I don't think it scared anybody like Journalism or Citizen Bull. Those are 2 runners that are hopefully going to compete in the San Anita Derby. Entries will be drawn tomorrow. But first things first, in today's 10th and final race, we offer $1 super high 5 wagering, going the classic distance of 1.25 miles on the turf course for fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. 3 scratches, scratch the 2, 4, and 11. Leaves us with a field of 8. The morning line favorite on the bottom, number 10, Paradise Lake for the Peter Urton barn at 5-2. Peter Urton's been winning races all around the country as well. He's doing a good job coast to coast.
He is. So he has a fair amount, I think, at the Thurber Center in Lexington.
That's where he trains them. Yeah.
That's a good spot, by the way.
You do like it.
Yep.
Race number 10. Who do you like and why, Bob?
I'll go back to McCarthy again. The 6-horse Strutting, but it's a kind of a toss-up between Strutting, Public
Assembly, number 7, right outside.
And Paradise, the favorite, the Paradise Lake.
6 and 7 to close out today's card. Bob, I want to thank you so much. Like I said, I made you do extra homework when you were busy enough as it is with saddling 3 runners today. But thanks so much for spending some time with us, talking about your career. It's been a real treat to have you on the show today. You got your first 1,500. I hope you get your next 1,500 within your lifetime. But keep up the great work, and all the best, not only today, but going forward. Thank you so much, Bob. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep in mind, you'll hear Frank Miramati give us the late scratches. And before he does that, what about the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5? You can see today's sequence begins at Gulfstream Park, race number 10, 2:50 p.m. Pacific time. 3 races from Santa Anita included in that sequence. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Have fun and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track conditions are brought to you by John Deere, and we are fast and firm with the rail on the turf out 20 feet. Here are the changes. Race 1, scratch number 7, Smiling Rapper. The first race, as always, starts the early pick 5. No changes in the second, pick 4 wagering offered. Blinker notes, as noted in your program, for race 3. The fourth will have a middle pick 4, scratch 4, Monsieur. Number 5 in without knocking, 1 over, 8, Beau Broom, 3 pounds over. In the fifth, pick 6 wagering offered, just the blinker note. Race 6 starts to 50-cent late pick 5 and $3 all-turf pick 3. No changes. The late pick 4 starts with the 7th, number 3, P22, 3 pounds over. The 8th is the Sensational Star, scratch 4, Booksmart. In the 9th, scratch 5, Quality Cat, 8, Roy Hobbs, 5 and 8 are out. Number 10, Love Candy, will carry 1 pound over. The late pick 3 starts with the 8th, the $5 late double starts with the 9th, and there's super high 5 wagering in the 10th. Scratch 2, Tiara Queen, scratch 4, Big Mama Sue, and scratch number 11, I'm a Joker. Enjoy your afternoon at Santa Anita Park, where post time for the first is in 27 minutes. The coast-to-coast pick 5. Keep in mind they're now off the turf at Gulfstream. Starts with race 10 at Gulfstream today, 2:50 p.m. Pacific. Good luck.